So I figured if I just did a video about UX design, then I should also do one about UI design. Once again, if you're new to the channel, my name is Raymond Stone and I'm a UX designer based in San Francisco. So what is UI design? UI design stands for user interface design. And basically what user interface design is it's the elements in a user interface that enable a user to interact with, usually a piece of software or hardware. I would say these days it's mainly for software, so interacting with digital products such as, like an app or a website. So when you're using an app or website, you're using an interface to interact with that app or website, and the elements that you're using to interact with, that's part of the overall user interface design. So things like the buttons, links, menus, those are all user interface design elements. Now, once upon a time, a user interface design would be created by a user interface designer, but I don't see too many of those job titles around anymore. I think a lot of those have been combined with UX designers to create the new fashionable term product designer. And a product designer today is what used to be a UI UX designer. So, it would combine user interface design with UX design. But these days, if a UI designer isn't combined with the UX designer, then typically the person creating a user interface would be a visual designer, an art director, or a creative director. And so the person designing the user interface is going to take some of the information architecture, perhaps some of the research and some of the interaction design that the user experience designer created, and this person creating the user interface is going to build all the necessary elements for that user interface. And so the necessary elements for the user interface might include things like the type, like the typography, the fonts, the buttons, the icons, perhaps any images that need to go onto the website or app. And they'll also create the mock-ups where they can map out where all these elements go to basically show exactly what that digital product is going to look like once it's finished, once it's built. And of course, to create the elements that go onto the mock-ups, they'll often use the typical design programs like Adobe Illustrator to create the icons, maybe Photoshop if they need to do some photo manipulation or create some sort of complex gradient or something like that. And they'll use programs like Sketch, Adobe XD, and Figma to create the mock-ups that will pretty much show exactly what the final product is going to look like. Anyway, I hope you found that brief overview of UI design useful. If you did, then remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.